Our assignment is going to be on the disaster known as the Titanic, written by Tariq Agha, Adham al-Sharkawi, Ziad Jarudi, Abdurrahman Saeed, Abdullah Fakhri. The Titanic is a disaster known worldwide, and due to this disaster, many international laws had to be created and be strictly enforced. The Titanic was built in Belfast in 1908. Then the ship cost an approximate $7.5 million, which converts to $183.4 million today. The ship could accommodate 3,327 people. Thomas Andrew called the ship the Titanic due to his belief that the ship was unsinkable.
A few days after departing Southampton, the crew received warnings of icebergs en route. Later that night, the ship made fatal contact with a large iceberg, which resulted in the tragic sinking of the ship. This cost around 1,500 people their lives. Investigations were carried out after this incident, and the accident was deemed to be an act of God, which in tort law relieved liability from all parties. After the incident, the head of British Inquiry, Lord Mercy, made it clear that any similar case in the future would be considered negligence.
When such a huge incident occurs, there are usually unethical acts involved. A few are Captain Smith maintaining high speed after multiple warnings, the rivets used for the ship were made of substandard iron, first class passengers were prioritized over second and third class passengers, the number of lifeboats were not enough to accommodate all the people on board, lifeboats were not filled to their maximum capacity, watertight compartments were not high enough. Captain Smith maintained high speed, which was over the design limit despite receiving multiple warnings of icebergs ahead. Some believe this was due to being pressured because of the competition with other Atlantic liners. This was an unethical act, as Captain could have prevented the crash had he maintained lower speed. The rivets that were recovered from the Titanic were tested, and they were found to be made of substandard iron. Due to the quality of these rivets, they were more brittle and could have caused parts of the Titanic to split.
Thomas Andrew was aware of the lack of lifeboats in his design, and did not change anything about it due to his false belief that the ship is unsinkable. However, no laws were broken. This shows that the standards of the laws during that time were not reliable. But the act was unethical as he knew that the number of lifeboats were not enough. Lifeboats were found to have only carried half their capacity. This was also unethical from those responsible for filling the lifeboats, as more people could have been saved if the lifeboat were used appropriately. The issue with the water compartments was that they were not high enough. This was because increasing their height would affect the first class compartments, and White Star Line wanted to avoid that. If they were at optimal height, damage could have been minimized. This is unethical because comfort was favored over safety.
A few possible solutions that could have been implemented to avoid the unethical issues that occurred. One being the employees could have turned a blind eye. Two being maintenance workers could have reported the issue of substandard rivets. Three, the deficiency in the number of lifeboats could have been reported to those in charge in the hope that they would add lifeboats. And number four, and the last one, if employees reported the issue but no action was taken, then the employees might need to whistleblow. After further analysis into the solutions, one notices that turning a blind eye is not a solution due to it being unethical. Reporting to those in charge could lead to unfair treatment or harassment. Another solution would be whistleblowing. However, whistleblowing is a risk due to the magnitude of the case and what could. In this situation, employees are in an ethical dilemma due to their responsibilities to both their employers and the public. So if reporting the issues to those in charge does not result in change, whistleblowing might be the only solution, as the responsibility to the public comes first and foremost and supersedes their responsibility to their employers.
It can be concluded that the Titanic lacked to meet a lot of engineering standards in terms of design, which is also accompanied by some unethical decisions and behavior. Also, the laws were not as efficient as they should have been at that time, which is shown by the change in international laws due to this incident. With that being said, we would like to thank you for watching our presentation.